The Sixers were cheated at the end of last night's game. Another incredible matchup ruined by officiating. However, we did get some positive out of it. We'll talk about that as well as a concerning injury update. All that and more here on Philly Take with RB.
Perfect.
What is up, everybody? RB here. Welcome into the show. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. Don't miss any of the coverage. The Sixers put on a show last night against the Hawks. It was a great matchup. Both teams going at each other. I feel like the lead never extended to more than 4 points. Really just an awesome matchup, and we didn't think it was going to be that entertaining. No Joel Embiid, no Clint Capella, no DeAndre Hunter. This was going to be one of those throwaway games on the schedule. However, it went down to the final moments, and the Sixers had momentum. They had an opportunity. They were going to win this game, in my opinion, and it was soiled. Okay, somebody has to say it. We had a couple nights ago where the Raptors coach came out to the podium screaming about the Lakers getting a lot of foul calls in the fourth quarter. We had Steve Kerr weeks ago talking about the officiating against Jokic. We've had multiple coaches now over the last couple weeks come out and say these types of things. And this was the final play last night where you get Tyrese Maxey on an ISO. Does this game matter in the grand scale of things? Absolutely not. I'm not going to sit up here and try to analyze an entire breakdown of a game without Joel Embiid, right? The Sixers are not going to win games in the playoffs and win a series without Joel Embiid. So this was just an entertaining matchup. And Tyrese Maxey comes out here on the final play. He drives, spins off of Murray, going to the rim, and you see Trae Young here on the replay smack the wrist of Tyrese Maxey. He got all hand. Nick Nurse was irate, turned red like a tomato. You had Maxey chirping at the official. They decided to not blow the whistle. They decided to hold it and say, okay, we'll go to overtime. Fine, understandable. Tyrese Maxey was putting on an absolute show in the fourth quarter. It has been a while since I've seen him take over a game like this. Really, it helped elevate his status in terms of taking that next step. And that is really the positive I can take out of this. But before we talk more about that, Tyrese Maxey goes to overtime, and then he gets fouled out. So we know Maxey already has a bad whistle. He's not there yet when it comes to the officials, right? They don't give him the whistles. But really, you're going to foul him out on an incredible game like this. Sixth foul. When he doesn't initiate any contact, Trae Young drives his shoulder into Maxey. Maxey plays textbook defense right there. Slides his feet, hands straight up. What do you want him to do? And he gets fouled out on a call like this. Now, again, this game doesn't really matter, but now the Sixers have their first 3-game losing streak of the year. This is one you would have liked to steal without Joel Embiid. You know, who knows how long he's going to be out. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But really, you're going to foul him out with 1:40 to go. And then what, right? We can talk about the faults of the Sixers. I'm not saying they didn't have any. I'm not saying they just would have won this game straight up. Tobias Harris going up soft with a left-hand layup gets blocked. You had Kelly Oubre, who missed the defensive assignment and got blown away off the dribble, which led to a wide-open three from Jalen Johnson. Marcus Morris watched the rebound come down, and instead of grabbing it, watched it go right into the defender's hands. Didn't even try for it, right? There were faults by the Sixers. Nico Batum sidestep three, wide open after the pump fake, missed it. There were opportunities for the Sixers to still win, but when you have your number one guy in this game getting fouled out, it just kind of deflates the air out of you, right? And it's just ridiculous. I don't understand why they would make this call to foul Tyrese Maxey out of the game. And we've just seen it time and time again, not only with the Sixers, but with other teams, and it's getting frustrating. It's getting frustrating. However, we will shed some light on the positivity around Tyrese Maxey. Sixers posted this. My guy Sean commented on it. And this was the takeover last night, right? We've been talking about Maxey lately, especially with Embiid out for numerous games here. You need Tyrese Maxey to be able to recognize, I am that dude. I am that number one, and I can step up and go get it, especially at the end of games. He was doing this earlier in the season with Joel Embiid. And this is how he takes that next step and concretes that superstar mentality of let me go out there and do it every night. Can't play timid. And Maxey was cold to begin this game, and he was shying away. However, third quarter, fourth quarter came around, he stepped it up big time. And I want you to watch this, man. This is the first play with 1:30 to go. He just crossover drives all the way with the two-handed jam. That was incredible. But it doesn't end there. Watch this sequence by Tyrese Maxey. These are the types of things that I look at, you know, moving into the future, not only this year, but next year, the year after, the future of the Sixers. Only 23 years old, making plays. Look at that defensive play on Murray. Beautiful defense. I'm surprised they didn't call it a foul. Great play by Maxey, and here's how he seals it. To go up 4 points with 1 minute to go, I mean, like I said, quite frankly, Sixers had all the momentum. They should have won this game. He gets the matchup he wants. He tries to, goes back on to Murray, who's a decent perimeter defender, step back three. Those are the types of things that will elevate Tyrese Maxey into that next tier. He was on a complete takeover in the fourth quarter, and it's unfortunate that going into overtime, he was continuing to move forward, and he gets fouled out on a bogus call. Let's talk about Joel Embiid, though, because, you know, even though the Sixers lost this game, they lost the last game, you're not going to have a good shot to win anything without Joel Embiid. And shout out to Philly Sixers Galaxy for putting this on Twitter. Ramona Shelburne appeared on the Woj pod about Joel Embiid's injury and his knee swelling. And we know how the Sixers get. They like to stay quiet with these type of things. But here is what Ramona Shelburne said on the injury. Quote, "That knee injury is the same one he had during the playoffs last year. And during the playoffs, you know, he had to play. This is the kind of knee injury that is normally a 4 to 6 week injury." And that 4 to 6 week part just sticks in my mind. I remember another freak injury in last year's playoffs as the Sixers are dominating and wiping away the crappy Brooklyn Nets, to be nice about it. And, you know, they're going for the sweep, and, you know, he lands on Cam Johnson and he ends up getting the knee injury. And let's be honest, right? Even though he didn't come out and the team didn't show effort in game 6 at the end and game 7 against the Celtics, and they got embarrassed, Joel has been playing with injury every single year in the playoffs. And I made a video yesterday which drew some lash from Sixer fans. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about and you shouldn't be concerned yet. I am concerned. I am definitely concerned. At this point, wipe away the awards. I don't care. You got the MVP. It's fine. The Sixers need to do everything possible to get Joel to the playoffs healthy, because if they get there this year and he's dealing with this type of injury again, and it's lingering and it's messing with him, the Sixers just don't have any type of shot. They already need to go out and get more talent on this team and upgrade. But if Joel Embiid is battling it once again, it's just not going to look pretty at all. And it sucks. And I feel like they're starting to keep this under wraps a little bit. Now, Nick Nurse did say that Embiid might play tomorrow or the next game or whenever it is, but I still don't feel confident about that. Are they going to throw him back out there when he's dealing with injury? Are they going to try to push him to play just to push him to play? At this point, I think if he really is hurt and he's truly battling this stuff, there's no point to play. I would honestly just rest him and, like I said, start to manage that knee. Start to manage the different body parts that usually get hurt. And I know sometimes they're just on the spur of the moment, right? He gets elbowed in the face. That you can't control. But something like this that's already lingering and bothering him before the All-Star break is something you have to monitor. And I just don't feel good about it. The Sixers need to do everything that they can to get Joel Embiid to the playoffs fully healthy and hope and pray from there. Lastly, I want to end it off with Pat Bev, who said this a couple weeks ago, but he talked about it on his podcast, or actually talked about it on $1 Million Worth of Game. And he said this to Tyrese Maxey. He also talked about it on his own show. But he said, quote, "Everybody's going to say, Tyrese, it's okay. It's okay. F it. I'm going to say you got to pick it up without Joel. Everybody will kiss your back. Everybody will tell you how great you are." And this just once again embodies the fact that Pat Bev is a perfect leader for this team. Sure, you can look at the box score. He's not going to fill the stat sheet every single night. But the reason that I've wanted Pat Bev for years are things like this. This is how you grow and mature guys like Tyrese Maxey. This is why, for example, in Minnesota, Anthony Edwards had a great mentor like Pat Bev who really helped, get him into that next gear. And what did Tyrese Maxey do after hearing this from Pat Bev, which he talked about on the podcast? He went out and dropped 40 against Houston, right? He went out, used it as motivation. Even last night, this was probably circulating. What does Maxey do? He goes out and he attacks in the fourth quarter. He goes out and recognizes his skill set. And that is what the Sixers need, right? We talked about accountability with Nick Nurse. How about accountability from within your team, in the locker room, right? We've always wanted guys like this, whether it's Tucker or whoever else. Pat Bev does this on a night in, night out basis. And I like that. Everybody kissing Tyrese Maxey. Oh, you're good. Everything's fine. No, Pat Bev literally looked at him and said, I don't know if you could do it without Joel. Prove me wrong. That is the type of mentality that will help take this team forward as they go. And yeah, man, I'm really appreciating having Pat Bev here as a leader. So give me all your thoughts on this stuff down below. What do you think about Joel Embiid's injury? What do you think about the progression of Tyrese Maxey? Should that have been the sixth foul last night? Give me all your thoughts down below. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That being said, I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.